Yeah, last session I coded this data types, and I covered typecasting also. All those I covered for you. So do you have any questions with that? You can ask. Else I'll continue with the next subject of data types itself. No doubts, no? So I'll cover the next topic would be auto promotion. It is called as auto promotion. Auto promotion of data types in an expression. Auto promotion of data types in an expression. This I'll cover now. Yeah? Auto promotion of data types in an expression. First of all, do you know what is an expression? Expression means something like this. Anyway, because when I'm talking about operators, there I'll talk about expression. So whenever you're writing this one code, generally what you do, you start writing expression. See, int a, you'll store the values. Then after storing this int b is equal to 5, you'll start saying a plus b. So this is called as an expression. Technically, if you see very clearly, it is an arithmetic expression. But if I say a greater than b, it is called as relational expression. Okay. So when you use operators, that time it becomes an expression. So operators I'll be covering later. Right now my concern is something called as auto promotion of data types. This I'll teach you. So anyway, you understood what is an expression? Huh? In expression, how does the data type behaves in an expression? How does the data type behave in an expression? That's the topic I'll cover now. Okay. So this will be the next topic now. Let's start seeing what happens. So in Java, what happens is, see this. You're having totally 8 primitive types. But generally, the 6 primitive types will be used in which operation? Arithmetic operations. 6 primitive types will be used in arithmetic operation. You don't use character and boolean in arithmetic operations. You'll be always using which one? This numeric types only, or the 6 primitive types only for numeric types. The data types which are supporting you for holding numerical values only will be used in mathematical expressions or arithmetic expressions. So let's see now how to do it now. Int a. Sorry, I'll go with byte first. I'll start going with byte. Byte A is equal to 10. Byte B is equal to C. Sorry, byte B is equal to 5. Byte C is equal to 0. I'll print the values SOP A, B, C. And the result would be 10, 5, 0. This is what it would print. No problem with this. Okay. But now see, sometimes we start using this data types where? In an expression. Now here, A is a data type of type byte. A is a data type of type byte, and A is a variable. Just follow the terminology here. A is a variable and it's of data type byte. A is a data type of type, A is a variable of type byte. Okay, fine. Now see, C is equal to A plus B. This is what I want to do now. So this is called as an expression. Here I am using, this is an expression or this arithmetic expression, and this side it is called as assignment expression. So expressions I will be talking later when I teach you operators. Right now my concern is what? Auto promotion of data types. So focus on that itself. See, this is an expression, and in an expression, this A and B, they are technically called as, can you guess what? Operands. A and B are technically called as, once again I'll write it properly. So there are 2 operands here. This is an operand, this is also an operand. They are called as operand. And in between you are having plus, that is called as what? Can you guess? This is called as an operator. So A and B are called as operand. This is called as an operand, this is called as an operand, but plus is called as an operator. Okay. So when you are doing an expression, this operand, if the operand is less than int during an expression, it gets auto promoted to, so less than int, it is getting promoted to int. So which are the 2 values which are less than int? Byte and short. So when you are using byte and short in an expression, whether you use byte or short, it's not only byte, whether you use byte or short, both get auto promoted to what? Integer form. Means, what is the actual meaning of that is, see, A is 1 byte, means 8 bits. B also is 1 byte, that is 8 bits. But it gets auto promoted to int, means it will take the form of 4 bytes, that is 32 bits. So it is in that form now. In the memory it will be in that form. Value remains same. What is the value of 10? Sorry, what is the value of A? 10 only. What is the value of B? 5 only, but it is now stored in the 32-bit representation. So why this happens, next I'll tell you. Okay, why this auto promotion happens, that next I'll tell you. But the thing is, when you are doing in when you are using these operands in an expression, they get auto promoted like this, both byte and short. Minimum they'll get promoted to int. Now what is the result? The result is going to be what? 15. Now even though the value is 15, it is of type 32-bit. Now 32-bit you are trying to store in what? C. C is a variable of type what? Byte. It cannot be stored. C is a variable of type byte. It cannot be stored because it is 1 byte. This becomes a problem now. So this statement will not work. When you try to compile itself gives you error. It will say loss of precision or something like that. So what you have to do is, when you are doing an operation, see, you should know what is the value. The final value is 15. It is well within the range. See, 15 is a value which is within the range of for a byte. It is between -127 and 128. Sorry, -128 and 127. It is well within the range. Even though it is well within the range, that 15 value here, it is of type size now. The problem is the size. It is of type 32-bit. It cannot be stored. If at all you want to store the value, you can store it in an int variable. Int z is equal to a plus b becomes a valid code. So SOP z I can print. What I can print? It will print me 15. It will definitely print me 15. But now this value I can't store now. I cannot store it in a byte. So if you really want to store it in a byte, you have to do like this. You have to do, how will you do it? By typecasting. So you have to put brace here also. See, a plus b is what? 15. That I'm typecasting it to byte, and then I'll put it into C. This is valid code. If you really want to store it in byte, you can do like this. Okay. So, but what is the fact here? During an expression, your values, if it is less than int, they get promoted to int, and the two values which get promoted to int are what? Byte and short. Both byte and short will get promoted to int now, like this. Are you clear with this? So this one simple example. Next, there are more things. What we have to see. See, byte and byte, they are getting auto promoted to int. Supposingly I do an expression with byte and short. One operand is byte, another operand is short. Both will get converted to what? Int and int. This is auto promotion rule. This is how they work during runtime. During runtime, see, here it will be like byte only, but during an expression they take 32 bits. Okay. Then next, if I am doing an operation between short and int, short will get converted to what? Int. So minimum they will get converted to int. Byte with int. Byte will get converted to what? Int. Now I can do an operation between byte and long. Now this side will see the story now. Here all are getting converted to int. But sometimes you will do the operation with byte and long. One operand will be byte, other operand will be long. This time the byte will get converted to long. So minimum it will get converted to int or to the higher side. Higher side. Which is the other operand is having high value of what? Type long. So it will get auto promoted to long. So then short plus long. Now both will get converted to what? This also long. This as it is it will be. Now short will get converted to long. So minimum they get converted to int or to the higher side. Okay, minimum int or to the higher side. Okay. So then here if I am doing the operation between, you know what is the minimum? Minimum means here both byte and short, byte and byte. Minimum they will get promoted to int. But if the other one is a bigger one, then it will get promoted to the higher side. You understand what is higher side now? Minimum it is int. Byte and short, minimum they will get converted to int. But if the other one is long, automatically it gets converted to long now. Byte and float. Byte gets converted to what now? Float. Fine, all this is okay. Now what if I do an operation between int and long? Int and int, fine, both will be what? Int. But if I do an operation between int and long, int gets converted to long now. If I do an operation between int and double, int gets converted to double. This is how it goes on happening now. Long and double, now long gets converted to double. So this is how the auto promotion happens, and this generally happens in an expression. This generally happens in an expression. Understood? If one operand is of type less than int, that is byte and short, these two, only byte and short will definitely get converted. They'll definitely get converted to int, no doubt about it. Okay. Otherwise, sometimes it might get converted to long also. That time when it will happen, when will that happen? When the other operand is of bigger type. Byte also might get converted to long, byte might get converted to float, byte might get converted to double. Only when the other operand is of higher type, bigger type. Now int always remains as int, but again if int is getting operated with double or long, again it also gets converted to, that's which one? A bigger type only.
Bigger type only. Are you clear with this? So we'll see with more clearly this with more examples, then you'll get a better idea about this. Okay. Have you understood this? So shall I clear this? So just I'll show you some more simple examples, then you'll understand all this. See now, supposingly, byte A is equal to 10, short S is equal to 5. Now one is byte and the other is short. Now when I do A plus S, or I'll take this as B only, byte B is 10, short S is there. So now I'll say B plus S. The result is what now? Of type int. The result is of type int. Clear? The result would be of type int. Suppose, and the SOPI if I print, definitely it prints 15, valid. But the same if I try to store it in byte, Z is equal to B plus S, it would be error. If you really want this code to work, you have to do typecasting. You know how to do typecasting now? Byte of B plus S. Put this in braces. So first this addition will happen, then it will be typecasted, then it will be stored into byte. This is how it will be working. Okay, but during an operation, both will be promoted to what? Int. During the expression, when the expression is getting evaluated, they'll be getting promoted to int. And supposing if here there will be no loss of data, because 15 is well within the range of what? Byte. If this is the statement you are considering now, here there will not be loss of data. But by chance if the value exceeds, then there will be loss of data. Like if it is 150, now there is possible chance of loss of data. If you are trying to store it in what? Byte. That will continue. Or whenever you are doing explicit typecasting, if the value is outside the range, definitely there will be loss of data. If the value is outside the range. Clear? So more examples we'll see. And but first, before we see more examples, I'll tell you the reason why these auto promotion rules have been done in Java. Why these auto promotion rules have been done in Java? It is good only. Let's see why. Shall I clear this now? So let's take one good example now. I will say byte A is equal to 50. Then I'll say byte B is equal to 40. Byte C is equal to 100. So I'm having 3 bytes now. One of type A, B, C, 3 bytes, value 50, 40, 100. Now I want to write an expression. So let's see how you write an expression now. I want to multiply A with B and divide it by C. This is the expression I want to write, a mathematical expression. So let's see now. Anyway, some result will come out now. Depending on the result, see, always remember that what is the value on the right hand side, that corresponding data type you have to use on the left hand side. Simply don't try to store value in something you want. Okay, so whatever value is you are going to get now, depending on that type of value, you have to store it in the corresponding data type. So let's see what we will write here. The return type is what data type I'll use to assign. We'll see it. First we'll evaluate it and then we'll decide. Okay, so see this. Now this is, now here the question is, I have to multiply A with B. Okay, and then I have to divide it by C. There is one more thing called as hierarchy of operators. I'll be teaching you later because I have to cover operators for that. Okay, there's something called as hierarchy of operators. Means if you are having multiple operators like this in an expression, till now you are seeing a simple expression, only one operator was there. But now there are 3 operands and 2 operators. 3 operands are there and 2 operators are there. So this time what happens? So there is something called as hierarchy of operators. So in the hierarchy of operators, multiplication and division are in the same hierarchy. First, still operators I'll be covering later. Don't bother. The next subject is going to be operators only. There I'll be talking more. But time being for this expression, you understand. From the expression point of view, you understand this one. From the expression point of view. And here we are concentrating, again I am repeating, auto promotion rules, not operators. Okay, so this will have the first hierarchy, then we'll have plus and minus. So first this has the precedence, and then in the expression I'll use all in one expression, that time you'll clearly understand. But first I'm showing you this. Both have equal, preference. Both are having equal hierarchy level, multiplication as well as division. Don't think division will happen first. Whichever is first, that will happen. If first one is, now the expression starts getting evaluated. First one is multiplication, so first multiplication will happen. Then division will happen. If first division was there, first division would have happened and then would have multiplied. So now first what will happen? Multiplication will happen. So A into B is how much now? 50 into 40 is 2000. Okay, so A is of byte value, B is of byte value. Means A value is 50, but it is of type byte. B value is 40 and it is of type byte. So, but when you multiply 2000, the intermediate result, what you are getting now, the intermediate result, it's outside the range of byte. It is exceeding. Okay, and that's one problem now what we face. Now, how will 2000 be managed now? We have loss of data here. Can we have loss of data? Because again, next that value I have to do what now? Divide it by 40. I have to divide 2000 by 40 now. 2000 by 100. Here I cannot go for loss of data. So that's the reason what will happen now. They will auto promote it to int. So here, see, when it is a simple value like byte A is equal to 1, here you will not understand why it is getting auto promoted. Byte B is equal to 2, C is equal to A plus B. Here if it gets auto promoted, you will question why, what is the use and all that. But definitely the same if you see here, you will get the real reason. Because the intermediate result is 2000, and if 2000 is not within the range of byte, and if you don't maintain it properly, what will happen? The end result will be a wrong value. Because that if now 2000 is not within the range, if 2000 comes within the range of byte and then you are dividing by 100, you will not get the accurate result. So that's why they auto promote this to int. This is one of the reason. Okay. So one of the reason is because during an operation the range will be very sometimes big. That's why both are getting promoted. And then it will divided by which one? 100. That's 2000 divided by 100 is 20. Now that is 20. 20 is a value which is within the range of byte. 20 is a value which is within the range of byte. If I want to store it in byte Z now, this is not possible. Why? Value is correct, 20. 2000 divided by 100 is how much? No, 20 correct. 2000 divided by 100 is 20. You divide it, so it will be 20. Value is correct, but the value 20 is of type int, 32 bit. That is the problem. So it cannot store. So again what you have to do? You have to typecast. If you really want to store it in byte, you have to do like this. This will work perfectly. Or other option is you store it in int itself. So that is why, two options you are having. So when you write an expression and start storing the value, the result of it, you should know which data type to use on the left hand side here. Clear? When you write an expression and you want to store the value in a data type, you should know which data type to particularly use. You should be extremely cautious about this. Are you clear with this example? Okay. Then, now, shall I clear what I have written here? So now, there are two main reasons why this auto promotion happens. There are two main reasons why this auto promotion happens. These auto promotion rules, what I wrote right now, no? There are two main reasons. Okay. Now the question is, why does byte and short get auto promoted to int during an expression? Only during that time. During an expression. Only during an expression it will get converted. Byte and short. One reason would be what? When you are evaluating an expression, the intermediate result might exceed what? The byte range. This is one reason. The intermediate result might exceed the byte range. Second reason would be all operating systems do not understand what? Byte and short. At least byte. They do not understand what is byte. They do not understand. All operating systems in the world do not understand what is byte. And Java talks about what? Portability. So you write your code once, it should run in any operating system now. So these are the two main reasons why they are auto promoting to what? Int. And I will go with a bigger value and a bigger expression and start showing you how this works now, how the auto promotion works. These are the two main reasons. Might be more reasons are there. So Java people had observed all the problems. See here, what happens is in C language, you'll study the behavior of a data type, like how int works. But when you're learning C, you'll be learning it on Windows operating system. Whatever you learn now, you're learning the behavior of int in Windows operating system. But the same int in Linux, it works in a different way. It will work in a different way. That is the problem with what? C language. The behavior of data types depends on what? The operating system there. The behavior of the data types depends on the operating system. That's one big headache of many languages, not only C. Okay, but Java's data types are standard. You write your code in any operating system, it will not bother. Whatever you are putting effort and learning here, it will pay off. Okay, this is standard. You don't have to worry. How does byte behave in Windows environment? How does byte behave in Linux environment? Don't have to bother. All the data types what you are learning now, they behave in a very standard way in all the operating systems. But the problem with other languages is what? One data type will behave in one way in one operating system. Like int behaves in one way in Windows operating system in C. Again the same int behaves in different way in Linux operating system. These are the problems what we face. So you can't predict the output. You learn in one operating system, the same output you can't predict where? Linux operating system. There are main problems there. So that's the reason Java people did not want their data types to change like that. So they are going with one standard. Okay, and they are giving it very clearly. See, this is how it works. Learn it. And once you learn it, it's finished. So it's not that the languages have to give you data types. They have to give you data types. At the same time, they should be very powerful data types. And they should have some standard. And Java is doing that itself. It is just a refined language. What were the problems of earlier languages? All that have been removed in Java. So I'll take one big expression and make you understand this. Where I'll go with what? Multiplication, division and all that I'll show you. Then you'll get the clear idea about all this. Shall I clear all this now? Shall I clear? But before we go to bigger expressions, one small expression we'll see now. First. See, sometimes scenario would be this. There's an int a is equal to 4. Then I'm having one int b is equal to 3. Okay, int a is equal to 4 and int b is equal to 3. Now I want to really divide a by b. That's my requirement. So in this case, a by b, if you divide, the result in C would be C. It will divide. The fractional part will be truncated and the whole number value will be stored. But if you want precision, that time you have to choose correct data type. It will work. I'm not saying no, it will not work. And if you print SOPC, it will print what? 1. But you have lost the what? Precision. Means that fractional value has been truncated. So these problems will come. So that's the reason what, if you really want to divide it accurately, better you should have chosen what? Double value. Double A is equal to 4, double B 4.0, 4 also will work. It will get double B is equal to 3.0, double C is equal to A by B. Perfectly it will work. So when you are using it in an expression, okay, means see, if you want to evaluate something, basically you want to evaluate and what you will be evaluating? The values. So if you want accurate results, you choose your value as well as you choose your data type. Both you should be correct. Understood? Sometimes it might happen like you might, these are some of the common things which will come up. Sometimes you might want to, okay, if you are dividing int by double, no issue. Int will get converted to what? Double. Sorry. Double D is equal to 2.0. Now int will get converted to what? Double. Result will be correct. Result will be in double now. You have to store it in what? Double Z is equal to A by D. Valid. Understood? So like this, two values you take, store it properly and try to do the evaluation, you'll get the accurate result. Okay. But right now I'll show you auto promotion in big expressions. Work like this. Some odd values also you give it check. If I divide 4 by 3, what will happen? If I divide 1 by 2, what will happen? That also you try. But that time you will get the result. Once you get the result, you will know what data types to use now to store the value, and the result you can decide in what data type you can use to store the value. The result also you have to store in one data type now. You will come to know what you have to choose now. So okay, fine. Now let me come with an expression here. I'll come with a big expression. Let us see how that gets evaluated. See here in this, let's see, I'll have byte A is equal to byte B. I'll take byte B is equal to 1. Some any values you can take byte, because I'm taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Reason is it will be easy for us to understand. If I take big values like 50, 100, it will be very difficult for us to manage. So I'll take very simple values like byte B is equal to 1, and then next comes what? Short. S is equal to 2, int I is equal to 3, float F is equal to 4.0 F, add the F suffix, long L is equal to 5, double D is equal to 6.0. These are the values I've got, and now I'll write an expression. So first what I'll do is I'll try to multiply. I'll try to multiply short with int. Okay, then I'll try to divide it by short. 1 second. I'll multiply double with int. The result will be 18 now. Then I'll divide it by short. Then I'll multiply by. And then I'll do subtraction. Then I'll do subtraction. D into I by yes. Subtraction I'll do with byte, plus I'll do it with what all I have used? Double, int, short, byte. What two are pending? Float. I'll multiply by what is the last value? Long. So this is the expression. Let's see how it gets. This is B, not 6. My B and clear? So this is the expression now. Now the result obviously will be not double only, because one double has come in between now. Definitely result will be double, but still we'll evaluate it and then try to store it in the proper data type. Means the result I have to store it now. What data type I have to choose, you should know properly now. And end of the day, if there is one double, the final result will be double itself. Okay, but how it will happen, let's start seeing now. So there are, they see in this, there are two things what you have to understand. One thing you have to understand is hierarchy of operators. One you have to understand is hierarchy of operators. Means which one gets executed first, which one gets executed second, that you have to understand, hierarchy. Anyway, that's a different subject. When I'm talking about operators there, I'll be going in depth into that. But how much is required for this example, I'll teach you accurately that much. Second thing would be auto promotion of data types. These two things you have to see here. Auto promotion of data types. And in this example, I'm focusing more on this, not on hierarchy. In this example, I'm focusing more on auto promotion rules and not on data types, because here we are working byte with int, int with short, so that I'm focusing. And let's predict what is the result now. Clear? So now in the hierarchy of operators, multiplication and division come under the same hierarchy. Multiplication and division comes under the same hierarchy. Now if multiplication is first in the expression, multiplication will happen. If division is first in the expression, then division will happen. Understood? Multiplication first means first in the expression now. See first, multiplication also is there, division also is there, multiplication is there. But first what will happen? Multiplication. Then what will happen? Division. Then what will happen? Multiplication. This is how it will go. Understood? So first multiplication, then division, then multiplication. Don't think first division will happen, then this multiplication will happen, then this multiplication. Not like that. Always it will go in what? It will evaluate from left to right. This is going to evaluate from left to right. But preference is given to first multiplication and division. Whichever comes first, that will get evaluated. First this multiplication is coming now, it will do that. Then division is coming now, it will do that. Then again it checks. There is a multiplication now, first it will do that. After that, then it will check for what? Addition and subtraction. After that. Now which is coming first here? This subtraction, it will do this. Then it will take what? Addition. Like this it will do. So this is the hierarchy. There are only two hierarchies in this. This one will be the first one. This one will be the second one. So based on this now, let us start predicting the result now. Okay. So this is only about hierarchy of operators. Only you understand this much. One would be multiplication and division. The other one would be addition and subtraction. Okay. But here I am more focusing on auto promotion. So let's focus on auto promotion now. So now see, according to this, what this expression has to get evaluated now. Evaluation always happens from what? Left to right. When an expression is the big expression, the evaluation starts off from left to right in the expression. And the result finally is given from what? Right to left. See, assignment happens from right to left. Finally you have to store it now somewhere. I'll write double Z. Assignment always happens from right to left, but evaluation always happens from left to right. Remember this. Computer language, this is how it works. In any computer language, right hand side gets evaluated with the formula of left to right. The final result is given to from the right hand side to left hand side. So based on that, let's start seeing now. So first multiplication has to happen here. So the multiplication has to happen between what? Double and int. So what is double now? 6. It has to get multiplied with what? I. That is 6 3s are 18. But I gets promoted to what now? I gets promoted to double. So I'll write that expression here so that it will be clear for you. I don't have space there. So finally we'll see this. We have done d into what? I divided by s minus b plus f. So this is the expression. Let's see now. So first multiplication. What is the value of d? I think we are too far. Okay, let me write it here. D into I divided by s minus b plus f into L. So what is the double value? 6. 6 into I. I is int now. So int gets promoted to double. Int gets promoted to double. 6 into 3 is how much? 18. So 18, next is what? This value will be taken, 18. Then it will be divided by what? Short. But 18 is of type what? Double. Now short gets converted to what? Double. So what will be the result now? So it has to do this now. 18 minus s by b plus f into L. In the next evaluation what happens? 18 by s will happen. But short is getting promoted to double. So the result would be 9 minus b plus f into L. Now in this expression, f into L will get multiplied. Subtraction and addition will not happen. First all the division multiplication will be completed. Then what will happen? It will come to addition and subtraction. So the value float and long now. Now float will get converted to long now. So what is the value of float? 4. And this one it will multiply by L. So that will be 20. So it will become 9 minus b plus 20. Now 9 minus b. So what it will do? Now multiplication over, division over. Next what is the thing it should search now? Addition and subtraction. So now the this one will happen now. Which one? First is what? Subtraction. So 9 minus b is what? Now byte takes the form of what? Double. Byte is taking the form of double. Here it is, this value is of type double. This value is of type long. So you are doing an operation between byte and long now. So byte gets converted to long and the result would be 8. Sorry, the byte gets converted to double, sorry. The byte gets converted to double. Byte gets converted to double and the result of this would be 8. Byte is 1 now. So 9 minus 1 is 8 plus what? 20. And finally you have to do addition now. Now the evaluation has to happen between double and long. Finally the result will become what? 28. So this is how it will work. Understood? But no, in this expression I want addition to happen first or multiplication to happen first or something like subtraction to happen first. This is how blindly it works. So if you want something to happen first, then we start using what? Braces like this. That's optional. Okay. So see now first I want in this big expression I want to first do addition only. Then you can do like this. Generally we'll be writing the code like this only. Nobody will write an expression like this. We use braces and make it more accurate, neat and clean. Understood? So first place gets executed, then the next place gets executed. That's how it happens. So that I'll be covering later. How to change the hierarchy of operators and all that I'll be covering later. But basically I explained you how the auto promotion rules are there in Java and how the expression gets evaluated also. So this I'll type and show it to you now with example. Then we can go to the next topic. Clear? Shall I clear this side what I have written? That I leave. So you can open Edit Plus and start typing. See here only it will show you all the files also in your folder. If you want you can select from here only and open. But one more thing, notice here Here I got all .bak files getting created now. They are called as backup files. Just show you what are these backup files first. So you are coding now, neatly you are coding, everything is getting organized. August 2013, Ravi Kumar, Java examples, core Java, yesterday we coded some code. So this is how you coded. But you can see some files are getting created here. .bak, they are backup files. If you want you can open and see. You can open it with edit plus only. It's on backup file. Same code will be the source code, but it's a backup file. We don't want these files to be created actually. We don't want these files to be created. First you delete it off. Don't maintain the backup files. It's of no use. Simply one more copy it is. Okay. But again if you start typing now it will get created. You start typing, see now I will create a file, new. File new, I will tell Java and I will say auto promotion demo. Okay. Auto promotion of data type. You can give the give big names, no problem. Data type demo, or you can keep just auto promotion only. Auto promotion demo. So now I'm going to save it. See, as soon as I save .java, you can go and see there. Here, okay. When I compile it, it will happen. I think. Just see this. I'll compile it and I'll execute. It works. But here, what has happened on backup file has been created. This is unwanted actually. So you can delete it now, but again if you compile again it will be created. So to avoid that backup files to be created, what you do, go to tools. Don't want that, if you don't want the backup file to be created, go to tools, go to configure user tools, click on files, files, and here you will have an option, create backup file while saving. So just uncheck this, it is already checked, default it will be checked, just uncheck it, apply. Now your backup files will not be created. Done? So let's start coding now. Let's start coding. We are going to see what now? Auto promotion rules now. So first I'll type the first program. Byte A is equal to, what I'll take? 1. Byte B is equal to 2. Byte C is equal to 0. Then I'll say C is equal, okay, I'll just print system value of A is, you can print all the values, it will print. See here it will be working in the byte form only. I'll compile and execute, perfectly it will compile, perfectly it will execute, everything is correct. But now I start using these variables in an expression now. I'll clear off that also for you. I think that is not troubling you now. Okay. So I'll write C is equal to A plus B. Done? So let's see this now. Control 1, okay, see now. Possible loss of precision. Now what is the problem? Both byte are getting used in the expression. A and B are two operands. See, A is on operand, B is on operand, plus is the operator. Okay, so you're doing an arithmetic expression now. What happens now? Both are auto promoted to int. So value is 1 only, but 1 is in 32-bit now. 2 values in 32-bit. So 1 plus 2 addition also will happen, 3. But the problem is the result you are trying to store it in byte. Now 32-bit cannot be stored into byte. This is the problem. So what you have to do now? You have to typecast. But just I showed you, or you can go with what? Int. This is error. One option is you can do typecasting. C is equal to byte of the target type. Okay, then you can have one more place here, A plus B. This is valid. And you can print. This is valid. Value of C, here you can print, it will print you 3, or you can say int Z is equal to A plus B. This is also valid. because it's getting auto promoted to int. And you know why it's getting auto promoted now? Because most of the the intermediate result might exceed the range. I'll talk about intermediate range now. So this will work perfectly, and both C is also printing, Z is also printing. So in this example, it doesn't matter for you. It doesn't matter. Okay. But see this now. When the value exceeds 100 plus what? 200. Both are by, sorry, I'll make it as, this also I'll make 50. I'm trying to do addition now. The result will exceed what? Byte range. So that's why what they'll do, they'll auto promote it to int. Okay. So now this will, see this, if you typecast, what will happen? Loss of data, because it's outside the range now. Okay. But if you store it in int, you'll get the correct result. There's loss of data. When you typecast it and store it in C, there is loss of data. Fine. So this is one example. So we'll see more examples now, if you want. Similarly, I'll go with short now. Short S is equal to 10. Then I can go what? Byte B is equal to 5. So here also both will get converted to what? S plus B will get converted to what? Int. Int Z only I have to store. There is no other option for us. Okay. I can't store it in byte also. See, I'll try to store it in byte, I'll get error. See, compilation error only will get. Possible loss of precision. I'll try to store it in short, the result not happens. Here also it will not allow. The result is what? Byte. If you really wanted to store it in byte and short, you have to typecast. So now I'll put it into what? Int. This is correct. Now no issues. Control 1 compiles and you have to print it. SOP value of Z is, you can print. It will print correctly. No issues. Done? It is printing now. So if you really want to store it in which one? Byte. That time you have to do what? Typecasting. You're getting what is typecasting now? So this is how you have to write the code. S plus P. Put it in bracket. First let the addition happen, then the typecasting will happen, then it will be stored in byte now. Done? Are you clear with this? So now this is also done. So let's see if I try to divide. Some odd things we'll try now. Like int A is equal to 4. Then int B is equal to 3. Generally you get all these dots. So I want to store it in what? The result also I want to store it in int C is equal to A divided by B. And I want to print the value now. All this also you check what will happen. You get clear clarity. Because these dots you should not get later. When you are writing big programs, this dot should be very clear for you. So value of, I can take this as Z only, simply. What will be the result? 4 by 3? 1. So it will be removing that. It compiles. It compiled 1, but you will not get the fractional value. If you really need it, then it was your fault. You should have chosen what? Double value or float value. That's how you can choose. So like this you can practice with 2 data types, and here the result is getting converted to int only. Okay. So because you are doing an operation between int and int. Similarly, if you do an operation between int and long, int gets converted to what? I'll do an operation between say int and long. So the result, I'll make A into B. I'll go with A into B now. The result should be stored in what now? Error now. See here also. You're doing an operation between what? Int and long. So you have to store it in what now? Long only. This will work. Or you can store it in double also. That will happen. Because long value can be stored in what? Double. This will also happen. Both are correct. Clear? And you get the result. 12.0 I get it. Clear this? So these are very simple programs, but how good you are in your basics, it will really be beneficial to in the later stages. Don't neglect this, because data types are the pillars of your programming thing. If you don't know how to use your data types, see, all of you are interested right now in writing logic. That's the reason you are learning the language. But for writing logic, you need value now. If you don't know how to maintain or handle your values, where is the question of writing logic? So always focus on this, then only you can write logics later. Otherwise it's very difficult to write logics. Writing logic is the easiest thing on earth. You are thinking writing logic is most difficult, how to write this, how to write that. It is the silliest thing. In Java especially, no writing logics only. All ready-made libraries are there. You'll simply call the method, you'll get the output. We don't write any logics in Java also. Everything is ready-made. Just learn to handle your values and data types. First is this. How good you can handle this, that better you can write bigger programs now. Clear? So now let's, this is one example now. Let's come to our example which I have written on the board now. You can go with this now. All this you can code and practice now. Okay, but now I'll go with the big thing now. What we saw on the, which one now? What I have written there, I'll write that now. So I start writing byte A is equal to what? 1. Then short S is equal to 2. Then int I is equal to 3. Double D is equal to, sorry, long I will take. Okay. Long L is equal to 4. Float F is equal to 5.0. Double D is equal to 6.0. Correct? Everything? You have to put, okay, fine. Then next what you have to do? You have to evaluate the expression. So the result I'll be storing in double, because 100% I know it will be what? Double only. Okay. And double Z is equal to, and we can print also. Yes, what is the expression we have written there? You tell now. D into I. Then divided by short. Then minus byte. Minus B, no? Huh? Sorry, byte B I'll take. Sorry, this one. Byte B I'll take. Minus B. Then plus F into I. Correct? Huh? F into L. So D into I divided by, so what is the output we had expected? 28, no? Let's check this one. Values changed, no? Huh? Oh, float and long, I wrote it built up. Okay, fine. Let's see this. What is the result? And we'll try to evaluate. 28. Okay, so let's see this now, how it is getting evaluated. Press any key to continue. So the result is what now? 28. Okay, so let's see how it gets evaluated. Only small change what I have done was, or okay, if you want, I'll make change here, I'll make change here. Program, or I'll make change there. It is same. That's multiplication. So okay. So anyway, see, only thing what I did was I used long here. Long L is equal to 4. Float F is equal to 5. That's all the change I did. The only change what I did was, it's almost all the same. Because anyway multiplying float with long. Almost all the same. There will be no change here, hardly. So long L, this one, okay. Almost all the same now. Are you clear with this? Clear? So, but I want subtraction or addition to happen first. What will you do? You'll put the brace now. Understood the evaluation now? First what happened? First these two will happen. Int will get promoted to what? Double by S minus B plus F into L. Then what will happen? Double will get divided by short, because division has to happen. First multiplication, then the next one is division. So the result would be double, means short will get converted to double. Then it will become minus B into F multiplied by L. Then multiplication will happen. Multiplication will be float into long. So this was the thing now. Doesn't matter, float or long, it doesn't matter. So now float will get converted to what? Long now. So this is plus. Float will get converted to long now. This is double. So next is what? Addition and subtraction and addition. But first is which one? Subtraction. First this will perform, and the result will be, that result will be double plus long. Final result would be double. That's it. If you want to store this value in int, typecast it. Same thing. Clear? Any questions? This is the auto promotion rules. Okay. But no, I want subtraction to happen first. Yes, valid, you can do it. Or addition you want to happen first. Fine, I'll put the brace here now. I want which one? This one should have to happen first. Now what will happen? Things will change. So now byte will get converted to what? Float. Yes or no? So first in this operation, what will get preference? Addition. So byte is 1. 1 into f is what? 5. It remains 5 itself. Sorry, plus no? 1 plus 5 is 6. So this will become 6 now. You evaluate this now. What will happen? I put plus here. This I put brace. So here it becomes 6. So this is the result. Then what will happen? Multiplication. Here this will be what? D into I is? D is 6. D is 6. This result is 6 now. What you have got? D is 6 into multiplies by I. 3, 18. 18 divided by S is how much? 9. 18 divided by S is 2. 18 by 2 is 9. Then this multiplication will happen. 6 into what is long now? 4. 24. So this side it was 9. This side it was 24. I think it will become minus 15. Let's check it out. Minus 15. You can change by just putting on brace. It will change. That's the hierarchy. You can change the hierarchy by putting braces. Preference will be given to that. So what are you learning here? This will run in all operating systems in the same way. You don't have to worry too much about all this. Are you clear with all this? So here I did not focus on what? Hierarchy of operators. My real concern was auto promotion of data types in an expression. That was the concern. Yeah. See, now whatever I am teaching you, all these concepts or examples I am taking from complete reference. Java complete reference, Herbert shift, you know now. I am going with that itself. We are in the 3rd chapter. One by one I am going in through which one? Complete reference only. For reference you can use that book. More information he gives. Parallelly also I am also teaching you the same book. Clear? So any questions here? So the data types have been completed. Which one? Primitive data types. Next we have to move to the array data type. Understood? Next we have to move to the array data type. Do you have any questions here? Do you have any questions? Shall I clear all this now? So next I will be showing you how to work with the array data types. Yes, what are arrays? It's also one more data type. Array is also one more data type. And it is given to you built-in by the language. Java language gives you built-in support for what? Arrays. Built-in support. Okay, but what is an array now? Question is that now. Basically it's a data type. Array is a data type. Okay, but what is an array? Array is a data type which can store multiple values. Array is a data type which can store multiple values but of the same type. Array is a data type which can store multiple values but of the same type. That is one definition you can take. One more is array contains elements of similar type. That's one more. All means same. Okay. So array contains elements of similar type. That's it. In Java, one more point is in Java, arrays behave like, means arrays are objects. In Java, arrays are objects. This third point you will not understand. We'll be seeing it later. What is an object? We'll see it later. But basically what is an array now? 3 points now. Array is a data type in Java which can store multiple values of same type, or array contains elements of similar type. Third one is array is an object. These 3 points you can note it down. Okay, but now all of you know arrays. You have used in C, you have worked with arrays in C also. Same here, there is no much difference. The purpose of giving you array is same. The reason why they are giving you array is same, but it is more powerful. Array in Java is more powerful as compared to the array of any other language. Not only, see, array is not there only in C, it might be in Pascal, Fortran, everywhere it is there. Okay, but now they are giving built-in support. Earlier developers had to prepare this and use this, but now it is given to you built-in by the language itself. Now why they give this support to you? Let's see this. Now let's see array from the practical usage point of view. Practical usage. Till now what you do? You just create an array, store the values and you'll use it, finish it off. But actually the real point of view how an array would be used is, see, this is the UI. User will be having on UI. So he might be having phone, see, he'll have his name. This is the UI. You will have his name and he'll give phone number 1 or he'll give phone number 2. He'll be having around 4-5 phones. Phone number 3, phone number 4. Like this, multiple values will be there. All the phone numbers he'll be sending it to what? Application. So this is your application. Okay, this is your application, and your application can be written in any language. That is irrespective. Application is containing what? Some logic. It can be written in any language. Okay. So sometimes you get multiple values like this, but all the values will be of same type. See, if it is ID, enter employee ID. He's giving his ID, he's giving his name and 4 phone numbers. So ID will store in int. Means you can use, see here I'll use on int ID. Then I'll use on string name. But now I'm getting 4 values. See, generally what happens, if you want to store a single value, I can use one variable. Like see, I want to store a value of 10. I can use int or byte or short. Now again I want to use, generally why use array? That's the question now. If you want to store single value and all, you can go for what? 10 value I want to store, I can go for int A. One more value of type int, then I can go for int B. One more numerical value, then I can go for int C. But as these values go on increasing, now it becomes very difficult for you to maintain and manage data. How many variables will go on declaring now? So instead of declaring so many variables, what we do, all these values will put it into one array because they are of same type. That is how we explain what an array is. Generally, language point of view, we explain like this. This is the explanation given to you from language point of view. But how that is practically used in application is like this. So here, now might be the phone numbers are big. So what you can take, okay, you can have an array of what? Int phone array. So all the phone numbers, instead of you having 4 variables, what will I do now? All the 4 values, I'll keep it in one array, one location. So that is how it will be beneficial for you in coding. Understood? So you have learned it from language point of view, but practically from the application point of view, this is how the arrays would be used. Practically. Okay. So not only this, sometimes there will be database. We'll see what is database later. In database also you'll be having multiple values of the same type. Okay, so that time also you'll retrieve. See, don't think, see, this is your application. Application is going to contain only logic, remember that. But values to your application will be supplied like this. Values to your application will be supplied like this. Right now we are hard coding and coding everything here. Right now we are hard coding and coding. Okay, so this will not happen. Later on all the values will come to you dynamically. User will give you, or it will come from database, then you'll process it, then you'll give back the result. All this will go on happening. Okay, for doing this you can use any language to code, but preferably we choose what? Java, because it's one easy language to code on this. I'm not telling you use Java, you can use any language, but we give preference to Java because it's one of the user friendly language, robust language, portable, all reasons are there. So that is, see, you have to learn a language to develop this application. That's the scenario here. Yeah. So these are the things what we'll be doing later. Initially I'm teaching you how to the programming language, then I'll cover what? Database, then we'll be covering UI. So first we are learning independently. First I'll teach you programming language, then I'll teach you database, then I'll teach you UI, then we'll integrate everything and build on application. Directly you can't build an application. To write an application also you need so much of support now. Okay, but writing an application is the other side. But when you get so many values, how do you word it in your application is the prime question here. Okay, when the values are of same type, you can think of an alternative, that is array. Understood now? So this is language point of view. This is application point of view. Array in language we learn like this. I'm going to teach you like this only now. I'm having multiple values, how will I store it in an array and how will I use it. But later on that will be used in this format. Remember this. Clear? So that was an introduction to array. Now, but basically how do you write an array? How do you work with an array in Java? That's the next question now. You learned how to work with arrays in what? C. Now we'll learn how to work with arrays in Java. That's it. Shall I clear all this? So this was a simple introduction to array. So you need this support. See, because as you go, when you start writing application, more values will enter your application, and you should know how to store it properly. If you don't know where your value is, later on you can't write the logic only. Your logic needs value. From where will you get it now? If I start storing it in hundreds of variables, I want one value now. Which value is in which variable? How will you find out? So you should organize. So we are learning that only. How do you organize the values in primary memory especially? How do you organize the value, hold the values in primary memory? There are two types of values. Okay.
So this is application, just now I wrote it for you, and this is database. This is your UI. Values will enter the application from both the side. So this is called as primary memory. Primary memory. And this is called as secondary memory. See, any application you take in the world, it's the same story. There's no change. Same story it is. It will have one UI, it will have one application, it will have one database. Only the application, when you code, no, which language you are using will vary. Understood? It might be C++, it might be Java, it might be VB, it will vary. But end of the day, the final subject is same. Okay. So here what happens, the values are stored in database. Don't worry what is database right now. If you don't know, we'll be covering it later. But if you store the values here, it is permanent storage. It is permanent storage. Value will never be lost. But the values what you are having in primary memory, they are volatile. As soon as your application completes, the value will be lost. Now which one is better, secondary memory or primary memory? You will tell secondary memory, I know that, because permanent storage now. Okay, don't think like that. This is permanent, value will never be lost. This is temporary, value will definitely be lost. See, I'll be having one int I know, or int employee ID. Int employee ID will be there. Or I'll have some int amount. Whatever, you can take int employee ID. As soon as this program completes execution, the value in this variable will be lost. It's temporary. Now which one is better? Primary or secondary? But here if I store permanent, so obviously it will tell permanent is better. But no, both are equivalently powerful. Both are required. So here what we do, when we get the values into application, okay, we process it here. Then the same values, we'll store it permanently here. Because the same value will be needed next, later, sometime later. Okay, so this is volatile and this is permanent. So what is permanent now? See, but you can't process the values in permanent memory. You retrieve the values from secondary memory, bring it into primary memory, then you'll process it. So in secondary memory you can't process. Values are retrieved from secondary memory, brought into primary memory, you'll be processing the logic here, and finally whatever the result you get, you'll display it to the user. That might happen. At the same time, the new value, what will you do? You will insert or update it into the database. Because why you store it permanently here, user will not, you cannot go on asking the user to give values every time. First time he'll become a member. See, Gmail, first time he'll become a member. Next time he'll be using only what? Username, password. Again and again, every day fill all your details. No. So if you want all your details, where is it stored? In database. So when you give the value, first time they'll accept it and store it in database. Next time onwards, you'll give only some credentials and enter. Now your application will start retrieving the values from database. You take any application in the world, this is the process. Nothing more than this. You are also going to develop the same type of application, but only it will be a web application. Your application will be running not in your machine, it will be running in different machine. That is where we have to reach. Okay, so this is how the subject will become interesting. So we need plenty of support here. We need what? Database support also we need. Then we need programming support also. At the same time we need UI support. Three things are needed. Right now I am teaching you programming support. Right now what I am covering is programming support. So if you want to write any logic, you can use any language. But we are giving preference to Java because you know the reasons. And on top of that, for writing logics here, we have libraries. We don't write any logic here. That's one more great advantage of Java language. In other languages you have to write logic also. Tough to learn, not portable, all things are bad only. On top of that, there are no powerful libraries. But in Java you got excellent libraries and you will not write the logic also. Understood? So now which memory is good now? Primary or secondary? Both are good. Because you can't process there and here you cannot store permanently. So for processing you'll get from there and bring it here. You'll process it and again you'll put it back there before your application closes. Both are equally important. So now that's why it becomes very important for you to hold the values. Here we are hard coding all the values. So when you get single value, you'll use int, float, double and all that. But when you get multiple values of same time, preferably we choose to use arrays. This is the practical usage. Understood what's practical? But I am teaching you theoretical now. Only in the language I am teaching you how the array will work. Understood? Only in the language I am teaching you. Later on we will be seeing this practically. It will be easy for you then. Shall I clear all this now? This was an introduction to array. So let's see the syntax for writing an array now.
class demo, public static void main, this continues. I want to store some multiple values in an array. But before that, let's see some syntax here. One more syntax I'll teach you. See, int a, let's see how you work with primitive variables or primitive data types. Then we'll see how to work with array variables or array data types. So int a is what? You are declaring a variable. What variable? Primitive variable. If you see technically, you are declaring a primitive variable, yes or no, of type int. Valid now? You are declaring a primitive variable of type int. A is equal to 10. What are you doing now? Initializing the variable. Initializing primitive variable. Same story will come here now. So I will have an array now. Int x. So let me write the syntax for an array now. How do you write the syntax? See, the syntax of an array would be this. Where I will write the syntax. See, it will be like something like this. Data type, array name, then you'll have the square bracket. So this is how you declare it. See, this is how you declare it. There are two ways to write it. This is, first line is called as what? Declaring. Then second one is creating an array. Array name is equal to new, you'll use data type and you'll specify the size. This is declaring and this is creating. This is the syntax. And when you are declaring, one more thing you notice, you can declare it like this also. The square bracket is there now. It can come after the name or it can come before the name also. Both are valid. Data type, see this, the change. Both are valid. These both are correct. Both of them are correct. Both are what? Declaring. So in C it is mandatory that you put the square bracket where? After the variable name only. But here you can put it after or you can put it before. Both are correct here. And at the same time this is declaring. These two lines are used for declaring and this is used for creating. So this is one way how you can work with an array. Or all the things you can write in a single line. Let's see how to write it in a single line now. Data type, array name is equal to new data type, size, it will happen in a single line. Or see again, data type, you can put the square bracket this side also. Okay, array name, you can do it in a single line. Instead of doing it in two little lines, you can do it in a single line. Data type, size. Both are correct. This is one way, means you can take two lines to do it, or you can do it in a single line. Here difference between this line and this line is what? Only the square bracket. Here it is after the variable name, here it is before the variable. Now let's go with that syntax now. So first I show you the first syntax. See this, int x. So what did I do now? I am declaring an array x of type int. Now this array can store what? Only integer values. You know what are integer values now? This array can store only integer values now, so nothing else. So this is actually called as declaring a array variable of type int. So your array is of type int now. Then next, you have to create an array now. So how will you create an array? X is equal to, one second, x is equal to new int. See the same syntax I am using. New data type. Then what I am using? Size. I want the array of type size 5. So this is what? Creating an array. So here exactly what happens in this line. Say this x is, first only x was there. Now what happens? in this first line only x was there. In the second line what happens? Memory gets allocated now. When you say new int, okay, new means it will allocate memory, and allocate my memory for 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this will be array now. Okay, 5 spaces will be there. Index starts from 0 only. Same story. There is no change. And totally means in the default values in this array would be 0, and the address of this array is now given to x. That's all has happened. Okay, so here totally if you sit and count, don't worry too much about memory, but just giving you an idea. 4 bytes, 4 bytes, 4 bytes, 4 bytes, 4 bytes. For this array 20 bytes has been allocated because you told the array is of type int and you want a 5 size is 5. So 5 into 4, totally 20 bytes of memory will be allocated. Understood? So don't worry too much about memory. Just you think about this now. Fine. So then next what will happen now? So see again, sorry, one more thing. See, if you want, you could have declared your array like this also, no? Both are correct. This is also valid, this is also valid. Understood? Now after creating the array, if you want, you can print x dot length. Now what is length? Length is one variable name. It's a variable name present in any array of Java. You can create an array of byte, you can create an array of int, you can create an array of short, anything you create. In any array, okay, in any array, as soon as you create it, it will have one variable by name length. And if you print this, it will give you the length of the array, and it will print you 5. So in Java, it is very easy to find out the length of the array, which is not possible in some languages. Understood? You can exactly come to know the length of your array in Java language by just printing what? Length variable. So and you have to print it after creating the array only. Don't print it here. Where? After you declare it now, if you print, what will happen? You will get error because you have not created the array only. How it will give the length? Understood? So when you are declaring the array, no need of specifying the size. When you are declaring the array, no need of specifying the size. But when you are creating the array in this line, you have to mandatorily specify the size in Java. When you are declaring it, no need to specify the size. When you are creating it, you have to specify the size. Once the array is created, now you can check for the length. It will print you this one. So are you clear now? You have started working with an array now. Is it okay, comfortable? Now, after the array has been created, now you can work with array. By default, there are no values. But I want to confirm what is the default value present here. You can check what is the default value. In C language, there is one headache. As soon as you create an array, okay, it will have values. Okay, and the default values of your array in C would be junk values. That's one big headache. So you should take care of all this. The best thing about Java is there is no junk value at all. There is no garbage value. In C, many places you will be finding what? Garbage values. That's one drawback of that language. But in Java, there is no garbage value. No garbage value at all. Understood? So there will be no garbage value. So now this is the thing now. So if you want, let us check, but let's confirm what is the default value stored there. So that's nothing but what? See, this first step is declaring an array. This is the first step. Second step would be creating the array. Third step is initializing. You have to initialize it. But let me initialize later. Okay, means I have to fill the values there. That I'll do later. First let's find out what's the default value. So that is nothing but using an array now. So in Java, to use an array, what you have to do? Declare it, create it, and then you can use it. Let's see now, how do you use it now? So I'll get the value now. See, to get the value, I want it from second index. Fine, get it. And that what is the value we'll get now? It will be of type what? Int. The value what you're going to get is of type int. You can store it, int p. I want some other value, int, and you can print SOPP. What will be the result? 0. There's one more shortcut way to print if you want. You can get like this and print, or if you want, you can say directly x of 2 also. It will print you 0. Now if I want, I can print SOP, x of 3 also. It will print me what? 0. Either you accept and print, or you can print like this directly, no issues. So actually what I'm trying to do now, I'm trying to work with the array now. This is how you can access whichever element you want. Which element you want, you start giving the index now. 0th element, first element or second element, you give the index, you'll get the value. As simple as this. Same. But if I want to visit all the elements in one go, then you can go for a loop. Which loop? For loop. Alright, visiting the elements in Java is so easy. See this. For int I is equal to 0, I less than. I can use the length variable now. So this is where the length variable becomes important. I less than x dot length. I plus plus. Do not bother too much about for loop. There's one next topic which we have pending called as control statements. There I'll be teaching more about for loop. Understood? There I'll be teaching more. But basically, I think you have little idea about how to use for loop. That would be sufficient here. But the syntax goes like this. Int I is equal to 0. I'm declaring one variable and it's initialized to 0. I am checking whether the value of I is less than what? The length of the array. What is the length of the array? 5. It was printed you here. So it will be I will be less than what? 5. So it enters the loop and it will start executing now. I'm just printing here, nothing. I'm not using any value. Just I'll print value in whatever is there in double index, it will print value in plus I, again plus index is, you can append now, you know how to append now, index is plus x of I. So what happened now? It will start looping now. How it will start looping? Int I 0, I less than x dot length, and it will enter the loop and it will print value in. Because it's in double quotes, it will print plus I is what? 0 now. It will take this value, substitutes, it will append. Okay, plus what it will append? Index is value in 0 index is plus x of I means x of 0. It will print 0. So all values it will print 0 0 0 5 times. I'll show you, I'll code and show you with output itself. Are you clear with this? Are you clear? Fine. See, here we created an array not for keeping 0 values there. The reason why we created an array is for storing some values inside it. So let's see how to put values inside it now. I just showed you how the array gets created and what are the default values here. So first step over, second step over. Now actually the third step would be this. What is that? Initializing the array. So how do you initialize the array now? See this. X of 0 is equal to 100. X of 1 is equal to 101. X of 2 is equal to 1 not any value you want to give, but it should be of type what? Numerical value, whole number value. It should be an integer value, simple words. Give any value, but it should be of type integer because it's an array of type int. I'll fill all the values. If you don't fill default value, will be what? 0 again. X of 4 would be 104. As simple as this. As you go on execute, as the program, see, assume that I've done these two lines. Program goes on executing this line, this line, this line, all it will execute. Now think that it will print all this. Now the control will come here now. After it comes here, it will start filling the value. What was the value here? 0. Now it is overwritten to 100. Next, in the first index, it overwrites to 101. As the program goes on executing, the values go on getting filled inside this. 102, 103, 104. Values will be stored here. Now which value you want? You can get it now. How will you get it? Same way. Either you can get the value one by one or you can get all the values like this. So in Java, to work with an array, what we generally do? First we declare an array. First step, declare an array. Second step, create an array. Third step is actually what? Initialize the array. Means fill the values inside the array. After creating the array, you have to fill the values inside the array. So that's called as initializing it. So third step would be initialize the array. Then last step would be what? Initialize the array. This would be the last step. This is the fourth step actually. Use the array. Are you clear with this? So this is also nothing but fourth step only. All these are fourth step. Understood? So first create the array. Second, first declare the array, then create it, then initialize it, then use it. That's it. As simple as this. It's not as difficult here. And no junk values. You don't have to worry. Clear this? So now, say here I have written it in two lines. Declared it and then I have created in another line. If you want, these two can be done in a single line only. That's it. Last thing now. So see this. I can do it like this also. Now declaring and creating can be done in this single line. Int x is equal to, one second. Int x is equal to new int of 5 valid or other option. Both are correct. Only the square bracket changes. Square bracket represents array. Remember that when you are declaring an array, see the difference here. I have declared int a here. I have declared int x. If I say only a, primitive variable, but just if I add this braces, array. Small change will make it as an array. Look at this close difference here. Yeah. So same thing now. Int a. Now here I can use the brace after the variable, or I can use it before. This is allowed in Java. In C, no. Strictly it has to be after the variable only. But in Java, anyway, possible. This is the syntax. Clear with this? Shall I remove all this and start coding and showing you how to work with an array now? Shall I clear all this? No issues now? Perfect. I only have to code and show it to you now. That's it. Okay, so I can create a new file now. File new Java. What will give the name? Arrays demo. So always give good name and follow all the conventions. A caps, D caps. You save it now. So assume that today we are learning arrays. So I'll go for a new folder called as new folder 05 arrays. Done. So I will put this file here, arrays demo.java. So keep your folder names neat and clean so that it will highlight what programs it is storing. So done. Arrays demo is done. So now let's start from the basic, very small basics. What is a very small basic? Int a. So what are you declaring? Primitive variable. Okay. A is equal to 5. What am I doing? This is declaring a variable, primitive variable. A is equal to 5. What is this? Initializing. Fine. The same thing now. If you want, you can write int x. But if you put the brace, a lot of changes there now. This is not a primitive variable. It will be treated as what? Array. X is an array of type int. Are you clear with this? The difference? So first put the brace. Automatically it becomes an array. So but this is only declaring a variable. Array variable. Only declaring a variable. Clear? So but it's not still not created. To create it, what I should do? X is equal to new int of 5. The size is up to you. You can specify it. So while declaring, no need to specify the size. Are you got it? While declaring, no need to specify the size. But when you are creating it, you have to specify the size. It is mandatory. So create an array now. Okay. But when you are declaring, I told you there are two things you can declare. These two ways. Int, this is also correct. Both are correct. You can either declare like this or you can declare like this. The square bracket is the difference. And I'll compile. See, I'll compile this also. It will compile. This one, the first one is compiling. Okay. But I cannot execute. I have not written any code here. If I want, I'll compile this one also. See, the above one I'll comment. Now I'll compile this one. Both will get compiled. So both are valid. Syntax. Compiler checks for syntax. So done. X is equal to new int of 5. So next, after creating it, now see, I'll print the length. System dot out dot println x dot length. And now we can execute. Control 1, fine. Control 2. What it is printing? 5. If you want more legibly, I'll print the size of the arrays. That is print statement. You can give whatever you want. X dot length, size of the array is 5. Done. So next what you have to do? You can use it. But if you use it now, you'll get what? No junk values. You'll get 0. See now, int p is equal to, from what you want? X of 4 you want? Fine, get it. Size is 5. Size is 5, but index last is 4. So in this scenario, what has happened now? Array has been created. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Index starts from 0. The default values are 0 here, and now I am trying to get the value of which one? X of 4, the 4th index. And it will be definitely 0. Check this out. You are getting the value from the 4th index, nothing else. Value in 4th index is what? P. Finished. It will definitely print me 0. No junk value, but clear? So then here if I this is 1, or if I want directly I can print. See this value in, no, if you want you can accept and store it in another variable P, or you can directly check value in 3rd index is X of 3. That will also be 0. Both it will print. So now what I have to do? Both are 0. I have to initialize it. So to use it now, I will initialize. So I will initialize. We use the array without initializing it. That's the reason what you got. 0, 0 values you got. Now declaring an array. First step is over. Okay, this is first step. The second step is declaring an array. Second step is creating an array. Third step is initializing the array. So let's initialize now. It's very easy to initialize. X of 0 is equal to 100. So it's done. Now it is ready. So now the same code you write now. Earlier it will print you what? 0, 0, 0. But now it will print you what? What values it will print? What is in the 3rd index now? See, you are given in the 3rd index. What is the value given? 100, 101, 102. Now this is what happens when you do this. 103, 104. So in the 4th index it is 104. In the 3rd index it is 103. You can see now below first it will print 0 and 0. P is already defined. Okay, I'll take some other variable name here. Q I'll take. Q you already declared P there on the top. So that's the reason. So it will compile, and now see 4th and 3rd earlier is 0, afterwards it is 104 and 103. Clear? Okay, if you want you can go for looping also. How will you set the loop? See this. For int I is equal to 0, I less than x dot length. X dot length is what now? I plus plus. Value in plus I plus indexes, correct? So value in, you can print now, whatever you want, you can. X of I, yeah. So it's very simple, working you know now. It compiles and it prints all the values. Value in 0th index is 100, 1 index is 101, 102, 103. From here you start seeing, from here. Clear? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, that you see. Earlier the other one is previous output. Or you comment that. If you are getting confused, you can comment it. This one. Done now? Not this one. You can comment this. Are you clear with this? Any questions? Okay. Now one more thing I'll just show you. See this. Instead of writing it in 2 lines, I could have written it in what? A single line. See this. I'll do it now. int x, but I have to use brace here, remember that, then only it becomes an array, else it will be treated as primitive variable, is equal to new int of 5. Valid code, no change, perfect, it will execute, same result you will get, but I have done it in a single line. Or see, this is also correct, int x, but the brace will be this side now. I am commenting this, result is same, there is no change. So you are declaring and creating it in a single line, that's up to you. Are you clear? Two ways, declare it separately, initialize it. Like how you work with primitive variable, you can declare and initialize in the same way. See, in a primitive variable also you can do this now, int a is equal to 5, or you can write as what? Int a is equal to 5. These are the two ways. This is one approach, this is second approach. While you declare only, you can initialize it, second one. Second one is you are declaring only or initializing. First one is you will declare it first, then you will initialize it. Same with array also. Clear? So first you declare it, then you create it, then you initialize it. Getting the point now? Declare, but in array one more step will come. Declare, create, initialize, then use. 4 steps. Declaring an array, creating an array will only allocate memory. Initializing an array means what? Filling the values inside the array. Declare an array, create an array means allocating memory. Initializing the array means fill the values inside the array. Lastly, use the array. Understood? Lastly, use the array. Then it will become perfect. Clear? So we are working with one-dimensional array. Okay. Some more things now. Some more points I just show you. See now here I gave the value. I gave the value in the 0th index, first index and all. By chance if I don't give the value in the second index, what will happen? It will be 0. That's it. I am not giving it. 0. Okay, and it's not that you have to give it in order. You can give it in any order. First you give it in 4, then you give it in second. Any order you can give. Fine. So now you understood all this. So but one thing we'll see now. Just see here. We are having this one now, x of 5. I am trying to fill a value in the 5th index now. Is equal to 105. It is outside the range now. Outside the index. 5 index is not there. Or 6 is there. 5 is the size. Don't get confused. 5 is the size. Index starts from 0. Understood? Totally there are 5 elements, but index is starting from 0. So now it becomes, you are talking about 6th element now. Now there is no question of 6th element. So what happens? See this? After this statement I will print on line. System dot out dot println. I will try to print. See this, hello world, does it, not only hello world, you can see this for loop also will not get executed. Let me compile, it compiles, okay, but now during runtime, you get an exception, program terminates. Your program is not getting executed, see, it has printed one line, size of the array is 5, the first line it prints here, it is executing this line, just see the output here. Just compare the output. It prints, where will I keep this? One second, let me close all this. Compile it, now shall execute. So it's saying size of the array is 5. So it is printing this line, size of the array is 5. That line it prints. Then it is printing exception in thread, something new that message will not understand right now. But it's saying you are trying to give a value in 5th index, but it is not there. So and you get the exception called as array index out of bound, and the program terminates here. But your system is not crashing here. Understood? In C anything can happen. In C anything can happen. First of all, C will allow you, and on top of that, when you try to retrieve it and all, problems will happen. That problem will get, and because of that, your system crashes. You'll have to restart the computer many times. But here your system is not crashing. It is very robust. Okay, let's see. Now this is when you are storing. Now sometimes I'll try to get the value also. You understood when do you get the array index out of exception? This is one of the most important interview question for you. Why do you get array index out of bound exception? Okay, so when you are trying to access a value from outside the index which is not there. When you are trying to, or simple words, when you are trying to work with an index which is outside the range. When you are trying to work with an index which is outside the range, you get array index out of bound exception. Now 5 is not outside, inside the range now, it is definitely outside the range now. 5, there is no index called as 5 here. So obviously you'll get that exception. Not only 5, see I'll use something like 10. Is there is 10 within the range now? So same problem you'll get. It will compile. But the problem is you'll get during runtime, problem is occurring. Your program does not execute completely, it terminates. Where it is getting terminated? Which line it gets terminated? You can see the message here. Line number 10. Line number 10. This you will not understand, sorry. Line number is 26. Line number is, 26. That's the size what's showing. 10 is not there. In the array, 10 is not there. That is the information it's giving you. But line number has been mentioned here. See here. At arrays demo.main, file name, in this class, in the main method, in this file, line number 26. Some information it gives you. So in the line number 26, you can see this is the problem. And hello world did not print. The program has got terminated. It is not executing because an exception has occurred. There is something called as exception handling, which I'll be covering later. Okay, here an exception is occurring and your program terminates, but system does not terminate. Don't worry about this process. Just you understand, if you don't try to work with a value outside the, don't try to work with an index which is outside the range. That's it. If you work, this problems will happen. Just I showed you what is the problem here. So not only while storing, sometimes say I'll try to get the value. Here I'm commenting this here now. I'm commenting that. I'll try to retrieve a value. First hello world will print, but the second hello world will not print. Check. I'm printing hello world 1111 and I'm printing hello world 2222. Hello world 111 will print, but 222 will not print. Again here also the same problem. This time I'm not trying to store, I'm trying to get. Again the same problem. 111 is printing, 22 is not getting executed. The program terminates here itself. In which line it is getting terminated? Line number 30. It is terminated. In this line it gets terminated. Understood? It terminates and this part of the code is not going to be executed. But system is not crashing. In C anything can happen. Junk value it will print, system will crash. But here it will clearly indicate, I am terminating the program because of this problem. You have a message here. Why your program got terminated, there is a clear message. Why your program got terminated. Okay, so you have to go and rectify your code. Yes or no? You have to go and change it. Either increase the size of the array or you work within the index. So you will get clear messages. In C you will never get a message. Simply what it will tell, junk value or system will restart or junk value it will start printing. All these problems come. So here all those problems will not happen. Okay, more about this I will be covering in later classes. This is just an initial introduction to what an array is. Clear? Any questions here? Any questions with an array? So we work with which array now? One dimensional array. If you want, you can have your multi-dimensional array also. 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional you can have. So the next example I will be covering is what? 2-dimensional array. Understood? If you are comfortable with this, then I will move to what? I know, literally you are not comfortable with which one? Outside the range. If I access, you might not be comfortable with that part. Apart from that, everything is clear now. That subject, keep it pending. I am going to cover it later. I did not say array is over. Okay, it's a subject which I will be covering later. But just because you will be going for interviews, from the interview point of view, I explained you that. This is one of the favorite or most important interview question. Why do you get array index out of bound exception? Or when do you get it? And what will happen after getting it? Okay, one thing is when you are trying to access a index which is outside the range, you will get array index out of bound exception and program will terminate. Till there program will go on executing. Till here program will go on executing. See, it will print this, it will print this, it will print this, but once it comes here program terminates. And all the lines of code below this will not be executed. In fact, that's called as an exception here. Okay, in Java they have made that problem as an exception and you can handle it. Exception handling on subject is there, which I will cover later. So apart from this, leave it. Next things I will be covering later. These things I will be covering later. Are you clear with array now? What is one-dimensional array? Clear? Okay. So now we'll go with two-dimensional array. See, I am myself training you. Two-dimensional array is not very important in Java. But still, your pamphlet problems, you want some info, I'll give it. in practical life we very rarely use what? Two-dimensional array. Practical life means when it comes to coding what? Applications, we will not use two-dimensional array. Very rarely you will use it, very rarely. So don't push that much of effort and learn all this now, because big things are still pending. Little if you want, you can practice it. I'll just cover it for you. Okay, so I'll be also telling you where to put more effort, where not to put effort, because subject is vast. Okay, I told you, like, don't bother about byte, short, char, float. Don't bother, because work little, just for your comfortness you work, but later on we'll never be using all that. So where you have to put effort, you should know. So language will give every support to you. Language will give full support, but practically if you see from the application point of view, what is important, that also you should know. And what is important from application point of view comes with experience, which you don't have. We know, because we have experience. So I am covering the language from application point of view. No doubt we are covering the full language, but at the same time we are emphasizing on things which are more important in an application. Are you clear with this? Which are more important in an application. So two-dimensional array very rarely it will be used. Just to cover it off, I'll teach it for you. Clear? Oh, sorry. One more point is there in one-dimensional array. I'll finish it off. Then I'll move to two-dimensional array. See this. Till now what was happening? See the three things now. This is declaring an array. You can do it like this. This is one way how you work with an array. Till now I showed you this. I'm still showing you one-dimensional array only. Sorry. This one part I'll cover and then I'll move to that. See, then this is declaring an array. Then finally you will create it like this. New int of 5. So this is one way. Declaring, both are declaring. These two are what? Declaring. This one is what? Creating. Then what will you do? You will initialize. I'm summarizing. See this. This is initializing the array. This is first step, this is second step, this is third step, fourth step is using an array. How do you use an array? Either with a loop, x of 3 int p. I can use like this, or you can go with the for loop. But end of the day, all this is what? Using an array. Four steps. Clear? The same thing, see, I can do it like this. I'm summarizing now. Int x is equal to new. I need space, 1 second. Now what is this to? Declaring and creating an array. This is 1 and 2, both are here itself. Here 1 and 2 will happen. The next one is initializing. You know how to initialize now? It will continue. You can initialize all the values. Lastly, you can use the array. This is what? Okay, you have made it into this is second step now. There 1 and 2 only one line. Here second step. What will happen now? Initialize an array. Last one, using an array. You know how to use an array now? Int p is equal to x of 4. This is, or you can go with the for loop. This is using an array. You made it into 3 steps now. Finally, see here one more step. You can declare, create and initialize in one line itself. You can declare, create and initialize in a single line itself. See this now, the third one now. Class demo, a very interesting one now. PSVM int x use the brace, mandatory, is equal to, directly you give the value, no new, no data type, but what values you are giving here, it should be of that type. No new, no size, nothing, directly values. How many values you want to give? Not 3, not 4, 5 also you want to give. Okay. Fine, over. Here what is happening? Either like this, and the square bracket again can vary. Again the square bracket can vary. Again it can come away left side or right side is equal to 100, 101, 102, 103, 104. Use flower brace. So here what's happening? 1, 2, 3. All the things are happening. Declaring, creating and initializing. Fine, valid. All the 3 things are happening. Next is what? Only using the array. But here, see, wherever it is, once an array is created, no, later on the size of an array cannot increase. Once you specify the size, here you are telling the size, here also you are telling the size, but here you are not telling the size. But once it is created, later on it can't grow. That is one more thing now. It cannot grow. Means x of 6, x of 7 I can't use. It is fixed. Once an array is created, the size is fixed. Here what is the size of the array now? You print SOP x dot length. It will print 5. Using, you know how to use now. X of what value you want. Second index, fine. Int p. Understood? Or you can use the for loop. It's up to you, man. For int I is equal to 0, I less than x dot length, I plus plus. SOP you can use. Clear? 3 ways. Clearly summarized. And once the array is created, over. You can't increase the size now. Size is fixed. If you try to work outside the index, array index out of bound, exception. Clear this? If you try to work with index outside the range, array index out of bound, exception occur. So I'll clear everything now. It's perfectly written now. So I have showed you an array of what? Int. You can today try with what? Array of double. You try array of double. Okay, array of double. So what will be the default values? 0.0. Same change. Instead of int you make it double. That's all. You want to change, try with char. But what is the values you will fill inside that now? If it is char, you have to fill in single character. X of 0, what will you fill? A single character you have to give. And if the array is of type character, this is the value you will be giving. X of 0 is equal to single character. X of 1 will be single character. Here you are, because it's of type int, you give numerical value. If it is of type char, you have to give character value. If it is, and the default value in this will be space. The default value, see, the default value of byte is 0. The default value of short will be 0. The default value of int will be 0. Long also will be 0. Float and short default value will be 0.0. Default value of char array will be space. Default value of boolean will be what? False. Check it out. All will print what? False, 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 it will print. Default value of written now in the table. Default value of boolean will be always false. If it is an array of boolean, I can have an array of boolean also. Work with all that. Do you want me to show that, or you can work? Boolean, I'll show you one. I'll show you one boolean and then I'll complete it off. Clear? So that's it. Just I'll copy paste and I'll finish it off. Clear? So then, are you clear with all this? And afterwards you can fill the value. But what value you will fill in what array depends now. If you want to fill a boolean value, your array should be of type boolean. If you want to fill a double precision value, then the value array should be of type double. If you want to fill a single precision value, it should be of type float. If you want numerical whole number values, decide upon the range. All this you should know. So that's what I told. When you know your basics, it really pays off later. Clear? Which array you want? Both or only one? Character array or boolean array? or double array. One I can show you, man. Time will lose. Boolean I show. Interesting, huh? Boolean array demo. File new Java file. Boolean array demo. I'll just copy paste, I'll not type now. So just change this to what? Boolean type now. New. Correct, done? Compile and check. Perfect. And I've declared and created in a single line. Let's see the value, what it prints. So default value what it will print now, and after that I can print the length if I want. Length, you know, no, see here also you can print the length of the arrays. Length of the array is plus in any array x dot done, and value in everything is correct now. 0th index is compiles, prints the value false, false, false. Okay, and if I want to give the value by chance to this array, by chance I should say what? X of 2 is equal to what I should say? Not see, this is where your basics will come into picture. Whatever you learned now will pay off now. Understood? So I have to give only true value. Now this will work. You can see in the second index the value will be what? See in the second index it is true. But if I try to give some value like this 10, what will happen? Incompatible type, error. I cannot store a numerical value in boolean, no? But what will you be seeing? Semicolon, no? You have basics problem, nothing else. The main error what you will be searching is semicolon. Reason is different, but you are looking for semicolon. Clear this? Okay. If you want to change it off, man, char, I'm just changing it here itself. See, easily you can change. Sorry. Specify the size. And now what value I have to fill here? First I will not fill the value. It prints what? Where? Okay, semicolon. See, your favorite error will come. Semicolon. Space, 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 it prints. Okay. So then if I want, I can give the value. But what value I should give? I have to give it in single quotes, not double quotes. You know how to give the character value now? Simple as that. So in the second place, what you will be finding? A. Second index. So you can have an array of char, boolean, double, byte, anything. Clear? Initializing, you have to initialize all. Clear? You want anything else double you want me to show? Enough, huh? Okay. Enough now? Now we'll go to what single line? Next we'll go to single line.
Single line initialization.
All over. This is single line initialization only, no? You want single line initialization, that one, no? Okay. So that time what will happen? Int. This is valid. 100, comma, 101. I'll go with only 3. What will be the size now? 3 now. That's it. But I have to put your favorite semicolon. Correct? Huh? You're only laughing at your own code, man. What? So that's it. It will print 100, 101, 102. Size is what? 3. So here what I'm showing you? Declaring, creating and initializing in a single line. Valid. Declaring, creating and initializing in a single line. But after that it's fixed. No size given here, nothing. But when you are declaring here, what values you fill here should be of the same type. I cannot give here comma what? True. This boolean value. How will you give? Yes or no? Incompatible type. But in C and all, these problems are headache. Any value, anywhere it will be stored. Here what value is getting stored in the array is getting checked when? What type of value is getting stored in the array is getting checked when? Compilation time. What type of a value? What type of a value is getting stored in the array? Boolean type of value is getting stored where? In this array. It is getting checked at compilation time. But in C, what happens? That's the advantage of what? Strictly type check language. Here also see. Earlier I showed you. See this in this example you see. Here for x, I got an array of type int. I'll give what? 100.89. It is what? Double value. When will the error be reported? Compilation time. If you try to give wrong values to that particular thing, it will give you a compilation error. But in C what happens? It will store junk value, it will give whatever it wants, it will do. At least here many things are getting resolved during compilation time. Yeah? Still array concept is there. I am not telling it is over. I will be covering it. When I am teaching you collections, one big subject is there called as collections. There I will be talking more about array. Clear? Clear this? I think I have to move to two-dimensional array now. Not important, I told you already. Okay, but just for your information, you can take it as an information. The syntax of two-dimensional array will be like this. What? Syntax first. First always learn the syntax. What would be the syntax? Can you guess? Data type, array name, two braces this time. I think the size will not be sufficient. Data type, array name is equal to new, the data type. Again two more braces, but one would be size of the row, size. This also will be size. But this is size of what? Row. The first one will be row, the second one will be column. That's it. This is also size. This is also size. But this will be row, this will be column. This is the syntax. Of what? Two-dimensional array. If you want, now this brace again can be shifted this side. This brace again can be written here also. Just I'll write off the code directly now. See, int x. You can write it in two lines, or you can write it in single line. Declare like this. And you can initialize like this. New int of what? 3 by 2, the size of the array. Or directly you can write in single line. What? This is one way. Other one way would be what? Int x is equal to Are you following? Okay, that's the syntax. Let's start seeing the code now. Class demo, PSVM. So I'll declare int x and I'll create is equal to a new int of, I'll finish it very fast. It is not important. Can you guess what happens? This line what happens? Can you guess? 3 rows, 2 columns. The light is falling here. Two columns now. 2 columns. So this is 0th column. These 2 columns means, see what you are putting on the right side. That many columns will come here. What is there on the right side now? This is treated as what now? This is left. This is row. This is column. So 2 columns will come there. But in the first, see, two-dimensional array, simple words, is an array of array. What is two-dimensional array? It is an array of arrays. In one array, see in this first index now what will you have? Another array. Address of another array you will have. This is one array now. In the first column you will be having the first index here. You will be having the address of another array. And the size of that array is 3. The size of that array would be 3 like this. See here. 0, 1, 2.
Here also you'll have 0, 1, 2. This is the index. And the default values here will be what? 0. This is how it is stored. This is an array of array. So the address of this would be kept here, and the address of this would be kept here. Address of this array is stored in X. The address of this array would be stored in X. Are you clear with this? Full interest. Full interest. Understood? This is how it's stored. But some other authors, it depends on one author. This is the way they write it. In books, sometimes you'll see like this also. See, how they write it, you don't bother. You understand the meaning of it. So here what's happening, some authors will write like this. 1, 2, 3 rows, 2 columns. And they write like this, 0, 0. Means if you want the value from this place, you have to use 0, 0. This will be what? 0, 1. This will be what? First row, 0. Correct, huh? That's it. So this is how default it will be created. See, some people draw like this, some people draw like this. Understand the concept of it. 3 rows, 2 columns. Understood? If you want to fill the value, how will you fill now? How will you fill that? You have to write X of, in the 0th, in the first index, 0th index, what is there? Array. In that array, you go to first index, 0th index. It is how it will navigate now. First it will go to first one, 0. This is 0 now. This is 1. In that it will go to 0th one. And there it will be storing it in the first. In this array it will store it in what? First location. But the first location is what? Identified by 0. As simple as this. So I can store some value. 66. X of 0, 1 is equal to 66. Same value I will keep. X of 1 and 0 I will give 77. X of 1 and 1 I'll give it as 77. Then again X of 2 of 0 will be what? 88. X of 2 of 1 will be 88. So what happens? So in this location 66 is stored, 66, then 77, then 77, then 88. Somehow just understand 88. 88 will be stored. Getting it? Or you can see in this diagram also. Earlier it was 0, 0 now. It will be overwritten to what? 66, 66, 77, 77, 88, 88. If you want to give other values, man, just to make it clear for you, I just stored it like this. Clear? So let's see the output of this. Okay. And we'll finish it off. That's it. It's a 2-dimensional array. Don't worry more about this. Just you think a 2-dimensional array is an array of array. And in the first one you'll be having the address of the first, in the first index you'll be having the address of the first array. So these are columns now. This is column and this is row. This is again row. I just shown you in 2 ways. The diagrams I have drawn it in 2 ways. Whichever is comfortable for you, you take that. So I'll just copy and paste the code. I don't have time now to type, or we'll be losing time. Get the idea. Already what I have written there on the board, same thing I have written here. It is the size is of 3 of 2. In 0, 0 what I am filling 66, 0, 1 what I am filling 66, 1, 0. Clear? Clear? So let's see the output now. Sorry, I have to save the file. Initially, see, when you created the array 3 of 2, when I iterate and print, it is printing what? 0, 0, 0. After I fill the values, it will print what? The values.
Understood? After I fill the values, it will print these values. See, this is the value it's printing. First it prints 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 66, 76, like that it prints. So I can store like this also. Clear this? But if you want me to explain this, looping. Shall I clear everything here? I'll explain the looping for you. See, here in the loop, first it enters I of 0. A dot length means it will be checking the length of which one? A. What is the length of A? 2. Length of A is 3. Okay, it will check that. Then it will enter which one? The inner loop. Here it will be checking the length of what? The inner one. Means it is 2 column. So like that it goes. First one checks what? First for loop checks what? Row or column? First A dot length. It will be checking for row only. Yeah. It will be checking for row. It will be checking for row. The first for loop checks for row. The inner one checks for the column. Understood? So first it checks for 3. Yes, it is less than 3. SOP A dot length you print, you will understand. SOP A dot length it will print 3. It enters. Then here J less than A of I. What is the value of A of I? Means inside A of 0 in the first index you have an array. In the first index you have an array. So what is the size of it? 2. Column is 3 and this is checking for row. No. First for loop checks for what? Row. Second one checks for column. Somewhat it will happen like that. A of ij, correct, but it's checking Z of A of I dot length. Z of 0. Z of 0 is nothing but an array. Z of 0 is, sorry, A of I. We are taking here A. What is the value of I? 0. So A of 0 is the first array, first row. Yeah, it's the first row. It's the first row. What is the length of it? 2. So it will be less than 2 and it will print that. So like that it goes on working. Check it out, but don't go, if you are not understood, fine. If you are not understood, don't pay more attention. Okay, 2-dimensional array, 3-dimensional array and all, we don't work in Java. Understood? Just for your info, I have written this to you. So are you clear with the arrays now? Clear? So we'll move to the next thing now. What is it? Literals. Literals. We have completed 5 things. What are we completed? Character set, then keywords, identifiers, variables, data types. User defined data type is pending. User defined data type is pending. We'll learn that after we complete this other things. User defined data type is pending. That's a big one. Yeah? Shall I close all this now? Okay, take the next heading as literals. What is literal? Do you have any idea? Write some points. Literal is a value. Literal is a value. Literal value should be stored in corresponding data type. Literal value, next point. Literal value should be stored in corresponding data type. Next point you make. Literal is a value. First thing point. Second one, literal value should be stored in corresponding data type. Next point. Literal can be one of the following 5 types. Literal can be one of the following 5 types. Literal can be one of the following 5 types. Write it. First one, what is it? Integer literal. Second one, floating point literal. Third one, Boolean literal. Fourth one, character literal. Fifth one, string literal. Finished writing? Take the first one, integer literal. Take the first one, integer literal. Finished? Okay, take the first one, integer literal. Right. Integer literal, take this one, I am going with this integer literal. Integer literal is a collection of digits. Integer literal is a collection of digits without decimal point. Fast you write. Integer literal is a collection of digits without decimal point. There are three types of integer literals. There are three types of integer literals. First one, decimal integer literal. First one is decimal integer literal. Right. It is a collection of digits. It is a collection of digits. Collection of digits from 0 to 9. And you can write one more point. It uses base 10. It uses base 10. You know base 10 now? It will use that. Now example for integer literal. See, these are literals, they are values. And these values will be finally stored in what? Corresponding data types. You only have written. Second point is that you have written. So these are the values. See, 125, 296. These are all called as what? Decimal integer literal. Technically they are called as decimal integer literal. Okay. So then next point. Next one now. Octal integer literal. See, in integer literal only there are three types. In integer literal itself there are three types. I'll code and show you now. Okay. Next one is what? Octal integer literal. This is what? What is this? This is a collection of digits from where to where? This is 0 to 9. This is 0 to 7. And it uses what? Base 8. Java always supports these three things. For integer literals, Java supports all this. So example. See, it is one second, one more point you can add here. It is a collection of digits from 0 to 7 and it must start with what? It must start with 0. That is mandatory. It must start with 0. Okay. So then it uses what? Base 8. It uses base 8. Example. 0, 29 valid. You should start, this is base 8 now, but don't think it will be 29. Okay, it will be some other value. Some means if you convert it to decimal now, base 10, this will be converted into different format. We'll see. Computer only will give the answer for you.
Can you use 9 over there?
Yeah, a good question. His question is, can I use 9 there? No, it will give you error, compilation error. Okay, you cannot store this. You cannot use, this is error. Okay, you cannot use even in fact 08 also. This is also error. Understood? So these two will be error, but other values you can store. 0, 25 or 0, 1, 1, 3, anything like this you can store. I'll show you, I'll code and show you, you'll understand. So the next, take which one? Hexadecimal integer literal. I don't have space, I'll continue. The third one is what? Hexadecimal integer literal. See, just understand the point. I'm going with integer literal. In integer literal, there are three types of literals. In integer literal, there are three types of what? Literals. One is decimal integer literal, second one is octal integer literal, the third one is hexadecimal integer literal. Write points for that. It is a collection of digits from where to where now? It's a collection of digits from 0 to 9. It's a collection of digits from 0 to 9 and A to F or A to F means 16 digits it can store, but we include A and F with that, A to F. Understood? So either, see, I am writing here two things. Either it can be capital A to F or it can be small f, A to F, no issues. But 0 to 9 only, here also. Combination of this. Next point for this, it must start with what?
it must start with 0x. Mandatory. It must start with 0x. And this 0x can be small or capital, no issues. Lastly, it uses what? Which base? Base 16. It uses base 16. Example, you can take 0x 523 AED, anything like this you can take. 0x 523 AED. So in integer literal, these are the three things. So I just show you the output of this. Okay. So if you want to store these values, these literals, which data type will you use now? You got already studied data types now. Now you put your brains to work now. If you want to store an integer literal, whole number value, the whole number value can be stored in three formats. So what will you, which data type will you choose now? Byte, short, int, long, depending on the range. As simple as this. But remember, even though I am teaching you all this, Java is also supporting all this. We never use these two. Till now I didn't teach you also these two. Extensively use which one? This one. We always will be working in the decimal format only. Shall I clear all this and type and show you all this? Simply 2 minutes you'll see the output. That's it. Nothing more here. Don't study which one. I am myself telling you. So language supports, but will not use it. If at all you want to store, means write your code in this format also, it will support it. Class integer literal demo. So what you do, see now you have to save your which one file. But today I have covered two topics. One is array and the other one is literals. So how will you, where will you save this now? So you cannot put it in the, don't put it in the same folder. So that time what you do, you can go for one more new folder. See this, what I'll do is, you can go for one, while saving now, you go for a new folder and give it as, give the value as 05BU name and give it as what? Literal. If you are having many topics like this here, and this one you name it as what? 05 array, means you have done it in the 5th day, but two topics now. So A, B, one is array, one is literal. So tomorrow it will be easy for you. When you are referring to your code, it will be easy for you to refer examples and all. So in this one, so in 0B literal, what will I do now? I'll save my file. What is the file name? Integer literal demo.java. Save it. Okay. Yes, I want to store what value now? 125 is the value I want to store. Yes or no? So I can store it in what? This is the value. Is it visible? Is it visible? Or shall I clear it out? Just see this. I can store it. I store it in what? Int I. Valid now. So this is what? System.out.println. Compile system. Okay, spelling mistake. So it prints. This is what now in integer literal we saw the first one. Decimal integer literal. This is the example for that. Okay. So if I want, I can store which one now? 296. Okay, I take this value now. 296. This will also work. So it's printing. Okay. So this is an example for which one now? Decimal integer literal. Fine. Next we'll see which one. You can comment these two. Now this we'll see as an example for what? Next one is what? Octal. Octal integer literal. So what is the value I should give?
any value, but it should start with 0. If I don't give C this, it will be treated as what? Decimal format only. It will print like this only. See, it will print. It will work, but it's working as decimal format. But I want to use octal integer value, so I'll put 0 now. Now you can't expect the same output. It will be treated as what? Octal. And when it prints, it is storing now. Actually, I am giving it in octal format, but it is stored in what format? Binary only. In the memory, all is stored. You give it in a binary, which one? Decimal value, or you give octal value, or you give hexadecimal value. In memory, it is stored in binary only. And finally, when it prints you also, this is the value it gives you. Too large. I think we'll put it in long. Oh, sorry. I have to. 9 is there now. I cannot do it. So it should be within 0 to 7 octal. So you cannot use 9 and all that. So it will give error. So now it will compile, but the value will not see as 256. It is giving as 174. This is decimal value it is giving you. While you are giving it in like that, but while processing it is processing it as decimal only. Okay, fine. I can give some other value. What is the value I wrote here? Okay, 0.29. Now what is 0.29? See, small values you take, you will understand very clearly. Again 29 I can't give, sorry, 29 here is invalid. Here because why? It is exceeding 7. So you can be 26. I'll give it as 6. So now let's see what happens. 22. Actual value of 26 is what? In decimal format 22. If you really want to understand, see here. See up till 0, 1. 0, 1 will print you what? 1 only. 0, 2 will print what? 2 only. No problem. But when I reach 7, up till 7 fine. 7 it prints. But after I go to 8, it will not allow. 8 will give error. It is outside now. Outside 0 and 7. So what will happen now? I can store 11. But you will not see the output as 11 only now. What will be the result? In decimal, in octal we write like this 0, 1, 1. But in decimal it gets converted to 9. For this we should know conversion, man. Octal to decimal, decimal to octal. This is not dealing with Java now. Java is supporting that. Understood? So don't bother. We'll never write and store our values in what? Octal format and all that. We always use decimal style only. Okay. Finally, which one we'll see now? 9 also is not possible. I showed you, na? 0, 9 also will not work. Okay, it should start with what now? 0x. That can be capital or small. 0x can be capital or small. What is the value I have written now? 5, 23, EAD. Fine. Let's see this. It looks like junk value, but it's what? Hexadecimal value. It is between 0 and 9, and it is between A and F. Perfect. Continues, but the result will print in decimal only. This is the value. This is representing this decimal value in hexadecimal is written like that. How it is written? 538999997 is written as what? In hexadecimal 0x something like this. Understood? So Java supports everything, but we will not use these two. Understood now? We don't use octal also, we don't use hexadecimal also. So that is why data type is the pillar. Why data type is the pillar means, this is the reason. Because you will be getting values. What type of a value you are having, where you will store. You should have an idea about all this now. Understood? Writing logic will be very easy. If you know how to store values, writing logic is a cakewalk, don't worry. And that too in Java, all built in. You don't write logic only. You have got all libraries. Clear? So now take the second one now, floating point literal. Take the second one now, floating point literal. Shall I clear all this? It's a collection of digits with decimal point. Underline that. It's a collection of digits with decimal point. With decimal point. Earlier, see, floating point. It's a collection of digits with decimal point. Earlier, for integer literal, what you have written? Collection of digits without decimal point. Correct? Huh? This is a collection of digits with decimal point. Next, there are two ways to represent floating point literals. There are two ways to represent floating point literals. First one, standard notation. Second one is Scientific notation. We already covered all this. Standard notation. There are two ways to represent floating point literals. There are two ways to represent. One second, let me repeat what I told you. It's a collection of digits with a decimal point now. Then I told there are two ways to represent floating point literals. In that first one, floating standard notation, floating point literals can be represented in two ways. First one, standard notation. So you know example, what? 256.952, anything you can write, or 75,000.2, all are valid. Second one is what? Scientific notation. We have already covered this. Scientific notation or exponential notation. Both mean same. Exponential notation. There are two ways to represent this. So all you write 7.50 E means for 75,000, how do you write? Say I want to store 75,000. You know now Mantissa? Okay, you already know this. 75 E3 represents what? 75,000. This will be equal to 75,000. Then if you say 75 E minus 3, it will become 0.00075. Okay, then if I say more values, if you want, I give. So if I want to say minus 0.075, what will I say? 7.5 E minus 9.5 E minus 3. What will this be now? Minus 0.0075. Understood now? Minus 3. I have shown you all this. And these values will be stored where? In double or float. Depending, if you want to make it as, if you want to store it in float, make it follow single precision, add F. Or you can go for double. That's it. Use double only. We never use float. But you understood what is floating point literal now? Do you have any questions? Do you want me to type and show this? You have seen this now? You want me to show? I show. No, okay, fine. Boolean literal now. Next. Shall I clear this? Boolean literal. Next one. They only two types of Boolean literals, which are true and false. That's it. There are only two types of Boolean literals, which are true and false. There are only two types of Boolean literals, which are true and false. True and false. These are the two literals. If you want to store this, which data type you will use? Boolean data type. I told you, literals finally will be stored where? Corresponding data type. As simple as this. Next, character literal. Fourth one. Character literal. It is a single character which is enclosed in single quotation marks. It is a single character which is enclosed in single quotation marks. It is a single character which is enclosed in single quotation marks. See this. Valid. Character literal. It is a single character which is enclosed in single quotation marks. Done? Char. X. So this is the literal value. If you want to store, you will be using what? Char data type. Clear? One more interesting. I can say char y is equal to, in single quote I can put 9. Clear? Okay. Last one now. String literals. String literals. It consists of set of characters. It consists of set of characters which is enclosed between. It consists of set of characters which is enclosed between. It consists of set of characters which is enclosed between double quotation marks. It consists of set of characters which is enclosed between double quotation marks. Example. See, this is character literal. To compare just. This is string literal. You got it now? It consists of characters which is enclosed between double quotation marks. See this. Now I'll write hello. Set of digits. Put in double quotation. Fine, valid. For this you have to use what? String. So value you should know and correspondingly you should store now. Multiple characters if you want to store, use string here. Okay. Then see, even I am storing A, but now A is in double quotes. It will become string. It is not character now. So you should be careful with this. Understood? Sometimes you might have a question. I want to store alphanumerical value. Alphanumerical value means what? But I don't want it to be hexadecimal or octal and all that. I want it in string format. Fine. So if you want to see your university number, which one? UVC, you are having a university, no? USN. What number, what value you want? USN 1952 R A, something like C B. Fine. All this value I want to store. So I can put it in double quotes and store it in what? String S3. So this we'll be seeing. String is a big subject. I'll be covering later. But if you want to store such kind of values, you can use string. Clear? Java is giving rich support now. Telling you what value you want, it will give you the support. Just roughly I have written that. I don't know your university number. Simply I wrote. Understood? Are you clear this? Okay. But when you are writing string literals now, sometimes, you continue now. When we write string literals, sometimes we need what? Escape sequences. Yes or no? When we are writing string literals, sometimes we need, when we are writing string literals, sometimes we need escape sequences. Sometimes we need, when we are writing string literals, sometimes we need escape sequences. Following are the different escape sequences. Which are they? Write it fast. The table I show you. Okay, and I'll put it in coding and show you now. Write it first. Shall I clear everything? Okay, any simple things? I'll code now. Let this remain. Char and string, let them remain. I'll type and show it and then I'll clear it. So shall I clear all this now? I think table will not be visible now. Okay, write it off. Backslash, this means if you want single quote. I think table will be visible. 1 second. Let me see. Is visible now. I'll clear it off. Just. Just write it fast. Which is the escape sequence? If you want single quote, use backslash quote. This is escape sequence, that is description. You want double quotes, backslash like this. Write it fast. I'll explain to you with coding. Among them, very important are this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. These three very rarely we use. So I'll cover the most important ones. Clear? Single quote backs. If you want to write single quote now, you'll get error. I'll show you. For that you have to use, while writing a string literal now, if you want to put single quote there, you'll get error. So that time we'll use this escape sequence. Again, when you are writing a string literal, you want to put double quotes, you'll get error. So that time you can use this. Backslash, this one is tab, this one is new line, slash C, this is single quote, this is double quote, this is backslash, slash T is tab, slash N is new line, slash B is backspace, slash R is carriage return, slash F is form feed. Form feed. Clear? Is it clear? It's not visible. Clear? So fine. I'll just code and show it to you now. And we'll finish it off. File new Java string literal demo. In the same program I'll show you which one, character also. See, this is the value I want to store. Obviously, I can't use what? This is a literal value I want to store. I have to use what? Char. As simple as this. So are you following now? Char x is equal to this one, and I can print SOP value of A is. X is plus X. Compiles, prints A. Valid? I'll leave that now. We'll get into fast string literals now. String. See, the actual value what I want to store is this one now. HELLO. So now can I use, it's a literal value. Can I use int, float, byte? No. So I have to compulsory go for what now? String. String S1 is equal to hello. Valid. And I can print. Value of S1 is plus S1. Finished. It will print hello. No problems with this. Fine. Now I'll give hello world. This all is okay. You know this. Fine. This also work. You want your university number, USN 123. Sorry. Yeah. This special characters and all you want to store. All this valid. You can store it. But let's not take that now. We will not store all such junk values. Then I can have RE. If simply I'm giving such a value, fine, see this. It will still store that value. It is alphanumeric. It is alphanumeric. Alphanumeric means alphabets plus numericality. Fine. But let's not go with this now. Let's come back to our hello world. And here, say I want to put double quotes in print. I want to see hello world, it's printing like this now. How it is printing? See this. Directly print. But I want to put hello world in double quotes. See now? I can't put. So what to do? I have to use escape sequence. How will I use? Backslash. Fine. But it will give me only single double quotes. But I want both sides. What will I do now? This side also backslash double quote. Understood? So now it will print hello world in double quotes. See that? Are you clear with this? It will print hello world in double quotes. Okay, one side I want double quote, one side I want single quote. Fine. One side double quote, one side single quote. If you want, you can do like this, or you can directly try here. In SOP only you can try here. See here. I'll take the first line now. Here, hello world. So how is hello world printing now? Hello world. There only I'll put what? Okay, let me bring it down. Here I'll put. I want to print it in double quotes. So slash double quotes. Valid. But if I remove this backslash, what will happen? See error. It will give me compilation error only. So put backslash. I want tab. So I can go for what? Slash T. So even though they are appended together, what will happen? There will be space between hello and world. See that? Last I want single quote. Slash single quote. Double quotes, tab, single quote. Understood? So don't bother about other things what you saw. Form field, carriage, return and all that. These things are important which I have covered. Yeah, new line you know now, it print and go to the next line. Slash n. Or you can go with print or println. You have two methods also. Print also you can use, println also you can use. Print will keep the cursor in same line, println will take the cursor to next line. But I want to use print and take the cursor to next line. See this. I want to use print . See now here print and see the two output. So hello world is in one line, welcome is in another line. Here what's happening? Print ln method is there now. It is printing and taking you to next line. But I'll remove ln here. And now I'll compile and I'll execute. Hello world and welcome is in same line. But I want this to go to next line. So what will I do now? Slash n.
valid. Understood? Hello world, welcome. As simple as this. So this completes literals. Tomorrow we'll go with next operators. Very interesting. That's it for the day. Clear?